This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Rez Decibels of Sargentanis, Pesca Sol of Ultros, Jinx McNinja of Sargentanis. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio. Are you ready for the next big thing in gaming? Introducing Final Fantasy Fighters, a party fight-em-up game for up to 4 players at once. Use a staggering 2 buttons for all of your attacks. Slice, punch, and whip your way to victory by racking up damage on your opponent and then send them flying off stage with a limit break attack. Included are all of your favorite characters. Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth Strife from Final Fantasy VII, XX_Strife_Sephiroth_Cloud_XX from Final Fantasy VII, and the kid that wants to be a blitzball from Final Fantasy X. Plus, new challenger, Minfilia from the 10 million player base game, Final Fantasy XIV, who attacks by having scions appear before her. Final Fantasy Fighters. Finally, you're fighting with fantasy. Final Fantasy 2018 release, available only on every console ever. We gotta milk the shit to the ground. Dissidia? Never heard of him.
Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break with your hosts, Aniero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kallo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Eureka.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode 150.
The real milestone.
Dude, I can't believe 150.
And all the important people are here. Like, this is the one that I was really looking forward to. Everyone does in episode 100. Big fucking deal. Episode 1 motherfucking 50 is where it's at.
You think?
Yeah, yeah. We look, we got rid of Ascalia, so he's not dragging the show down. Okay.
Dragon.
He's a drag queen. And Juxta's here because we need someone to run the drops, obviously. And then, of course, the meat and potatoes of the show. That's me and you. We carry this bitch.
Yeah, except, man, do I feel like shit.
It's like moldy potatoes.
Did you go on a Tinder date again? Oh, my God.
What?
You actually, last week, you did go on a date.
I did go on a date, yeah.
And it takes a while for the virus or whatever it is you have to gestate and grow. And you might be sick. You might have got Tinder sick again.
I might have.
Do you have cold sores?
No, I don't have any cold sores.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Maybe I should check.
You know, oh, Jesus.
Stop it.
Juxta obviously has played a lot of healers in his time, and he has a support main in Overwatch, so he's the closest thing that we have to a doctor.
No.
Maybe you should No, I don't think that he should check you.
Bend
That's
over.
Gross. Stop it. But maybe describe...
Let me cup your balls and you can say,
Stop. It's not... Describe your symptoms. Maybe he can tell you what's wrong with you. Dr. Juxta.
Okay, but before you say anything, I need you to take off your clothes.
Why?
That's what you do at the doctor's office.
No, I don't think that it is.
What doctor do you go to?
Yeah.
When you get a physical, you take off your clothes.
This isn't a physical, though. Something's wrong with
we're
him.
going to get physical.
Ugh.
Why do you do this to every
Stop it. Ugh. Gross. Anyway.
Is it all right with you if I touch your penis?
It is absolutely not all right with me. You have no consent of mine. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Appreciate having you guys along. If you want to know my symptoms, I feel like there's a lot of post-nasal stuff going on. Like,
post-nasal?
Yeah, post-nasal, like post-nasal drip. I keep hacking up these awful, like, gobs of gunk.
What color are they?
Red.
What?
Red?
Yeah.
That's like blood?
It could be. I see, that's the thing. I don't know what's bleeding. So
Something internal.
Yeah.
Something,
And based on my experience as Mercy, you should probably go to a doctor.
No, I'm not doing that.
Or at least take medicine.
Yeah,
There's no
probably
medicine that will
either.
stop internal bleeding, guys.
So
I mean, you don't know that. You're not a doctor.
So anyway, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Appreciate having you along. Twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. You may not be hearing a lot out of me today. I also feel like I have a low-grade fever, right? Like,
So you still might just be on the cusp of this.
yeah, that's what I really feel like. Is that like I'm like slowly on the verge.
Which is why you should take medicine right now to get ahead of it.
No, 'cause, dude, every time I try to do that, I always end up getting way sicker than I feel like I would have been if I just didn't take anything.
That's weird.
It might. I mean,
I'm not sure that's how sickness works.
I don't know. It could be a psychosomatic thing for sure.
He just thinks that that's what happened. That's what that means.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when I think I'm getting sick, I get sicker, and then it's all in my head, and I'm not actually sick.
Yeah, I mean that's like a fairly real thing that happens. So
JW Flux says drink whiskey immediately.
yeah, no. I mean, I've been trying to sterilize my internals with vodka and orange juice. That's usually
Oh, yeah, like at
like at Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a bad plan of attack. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. Hope that we're sounding pretty good today because we've got some new equipment in play.
I can actually, I feel like, hear the difference. So I feel like people should really be able to notice.
I mean, I feel like I can definitely hear a difference as well. I'm gonna be excited to go back and listen to the episode. So we got a couple of new pieces of gear. First, we got a new mixing console because our old one, Juxta, had blown out several times.
Okay, well, just to be fair on everyone that's present right here, I am also, that channel is also used by Norris, and he can be pretty loud, so it could have been him.
Actually, it's the exact opposite. He can be pretty quiet.
Okay, well,
And I think I had still had it set from Norris, and you just came in here and started going, "Bah, bah, bah," like doing your fucking autistic screeching that you do.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Then that's your fault. Okay, I accept that.
No, it's not my fault. That's your fault.
That's your fault because you had it set to Norris quietness. So it's okay. It's okay.
You're right. I did not have it set to autistic screeching.
I know. Well, it's we all make mistakes, and I forgive you for that.
Like Juxta's parents.
Also, we also got another piece of gear, which is a expander, limiter, and noise gate. It's also got a little bit of compression in there as well. So
are we going to break it?
No, that is
break the limiter radio.
The reason that we got that is so that you.
All hail Juxta, leader of the Empire.
Oh, Juxta.
What?
Party foul.
I have everything under control.
You absolutely do not.
It wasn't on?
No. For the second week in a row, our first donation doesn't go over.
What's your excuse? You literally had nothing else to do so far today.
And we've been in here for like 45 minutes setting.
Which, by the way, I also saw that Skro just woke up. Do not forget to do the FEC highlights I sent you or you are fired. I'm checking tonight.
FEC highlights? We didn't have it.
Shut up.
Touch the nose.
Yeah, you shut the fuck up, dummy. Anyway, so yeah, if the show sounds a little bit different, that's why. It's because we've got some new gear going on.
Hopefully it's a better different, though, right?
I hope so.
That's what we're aiming for.
I hope so. Also, Nika is not here today because she had surgery this
Just
week.
get out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Another C-section, baby.
So if you want to, wish her well, find her on social media. I'm sure,
tweet her or whatever
it is.
I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
Yeah. And then also we found out today through Twitter post, Mr. Happy losing his dad. And so condolences go out to Mr. Happy. That sucks. There's no joke here. There's no punchline.
Love you, Mr. Happy.
Yeah, lots of love, lots of support out to Mr. Mr. Happy. I don't give a shit what your opinion is about his content. You know, he's an important member of this community and definitely deserves support in this difficult time. So, you know, do what you can. Do what you can for a man who has done a lot for this game. So, anyway, yeah, our condolences go out to Mr. Happy. So, also, what else we got going on?
The Aniero postcards have gone out.
Oh shit!
So, if you weren't part of Patreon at the end of this month, or at the end of February, by the end of February, you missed out on that, which is probably honestly one of the best postcards done. Not even just in artistic style and quality and whatnot, but even just in execution and like the idea.
Well, it's mine. I mean,
I know, and you just grill it. It's perfect.
It is.
You got the dad bod going on and everything. Yeah, the Kallo one's all set to go for next month, and I just got Nika's sketch for what hers is going to be last night from Noriko. So we are ahead of schedule for once in the in the postcards.
I don't believe you.
Yeah,
I don't believe you.
No, for real, we
Lies.
are. For real. So, yeah.
A $20 pledge over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio will get you locked into that. And, you know, while we're talking about it, patreon.com/Limit Break Radio is how you support this show. If you listen every week, if you enjoy the show, if you think that content like ours is important to a community like FF14, then we ask you to head on over to patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Give what you can today. We definitely need to try to drive that total up a little bit. You know, we have a lot of irons in the fire, and we've got a lot that's going on with Checkpoint and with launching the Let's Be Real podcast. But I don't want anyone to think that our commitment to Limit Break Radio is wavering at all. Even if we're frustrated with the game, you know, we've made the commitment to do the show and to continue entertaining you guys each and every single week. And to be able to do that, it requires your support over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. We've been pretty light on trying to send people over there in the last 5 to 6 weeks, but you know, we definitely do need the support. It is how we keep gas in the tanks, and you know, until Checkpoint becomes, you know, a staple across every fucking, you know, state in the United States, then it's going to be difficult. You know what I mean? Like, we're only you know, we're only operating off of 50 different fucking radio stations right now.
Yep. And remember too, you know, we mentioned that new equipment that we just got. That was because of you guys, like, period.
Because of your generous support,
hands down. Yeah,
absolutely. And the thing is that, you know, your financial support does allow us to stay in operation. You know, we had been working with a bum board there for a couple of weeks. It allows us to get more technology to be able to, you know, do things like protect our investments, like with the compressor. So, you know, we try to act very responsibly with the funds that you guys so generously provide us over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio, no matter what Johnny Bravo might have to say about it. We do actually take the responsibility of you giving us your money very seriously. So,
is it news time yet?
It is not news time yet, and I didn't hear that.
It's there. It's open.
Are you sure?
It's not muted. It's not muted. I checked that. It's not muted.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm just looking right now. It's not muted. Definitely not.
I heard a click there.
I mean, I'm clicking on it. It's not muted.
Okay. All right. See what happens next time.
Okay.
All right.
It's not.
Such a failure.
Dang.
All hail our Lord and Savior Juxta.
Oh my
the
God.
True heart and soul of the podcast. May you always walk in the light of Mr. Position. #Wary not worthy. #Bankalo.
What the fuck, Frumpy Raccoon? You know what I did when I woke up this morning and logged into FF14 so I could sit down in the studio? I accepted a friend's request from you.
Aw.
So now, as soon as I get home, you know what the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to block you, put you on my blacklist, and then remove you from my friends list if putting you on the blacklist doesn't automatically do that. That is rude. That is rude.
It's very rude what you just said.
And you know what, Frumpy Raccoon? You know what that sounds a lot like to me? That sounds like you're a trash panda. That's right. In my eyes, you're no better than Skuro.
Wow.
I spit on you, sir.
That was actually the foam you spit on.
Can you not spit on the foam, please?
Metaphorical.
Well, now you have to replace that foam. I assume Kallo has some kind of like nasty, gross.
He's already
parasite,
sick, so it's not like it's going to do anything. And I also found out that apparently refoaming this entire room would only cost like $20-$30. So if I wanted to, I could do that.
Okay,
it'd be like 100.
All right, so refoam it.
Not gonna do that.
Can we finish foaming it first? Is that possible?
Ceiling 2?
I mean,
floor 2?
It'd be nice. The floor is not necessary. The ceiling would be nice.
What about on the desk and all on each individual knob?
He has some on like the end of the desk here.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why don't I get foam over there?
Hashtag mute Kallo.
Yeah, say thank you.
There you go. Mute Kallo.
That's what's up, Juxta fan club.
I'd like to use my mute Juxta.
No,
okay, all right. Now I'm the only one with a microphone. This is really interesting. I have no idea. I know I'm sick.
The Juxta fan.
I kind of want to go lay down for a nap, but I'm the only one with the microphone.
You have to do the show.
But I don't want to. I don't.
You gotta do.
No, I don't want. I'm not.
Go lay down. They brought this upon themselves.
So we're gonna have two people with muted microphones try to do the show.
They brought it upon themselves. This is what they did. They have to learn.
Another victory for America.
Oh yeah, you could do the entire show in drops. There you go.
Do drops.
There you go.
I also learned that I'm secretly a furry.
You're gonna run out of drops mighty quick.
Hilariously derailing one-liner.
You can stop anytime. Okay, all right, okay.
What?
You guys have microphones back.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Juxta drop theater. That may be a thing.
Yeah, I like it.
Do the nap. Limit break napping.
Don't you tempt us.
Oh God, seriously. I could use one of those right now. A limit break nap.
You were napping when we got here.
I was, dude. That's how legitimately sick I fucking feel. I sat down. I laid down out on the couch, got everything set up for Limit Break Radio. Laid down out on the couch watching the final Encountercast clips that we had going, and I was out within 10 minutes.
Did we wake you up when we entered your apartment?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we came in and said, "How you feeling?"
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
Shitty.
Do you not listen to anything anyone ever says?
Not really.
Yet you complain the entire way. Kallo, talk to me. We never talk anymore.
Well, yeah, I need the white noise to keep me going.
You had music on.
More white noise. Not good noise, white noise. Your voice. That kind of noise.
He called your voice white.
Because you're white.
He's racist.
Against whiteys.
There's a lot of people with glow sticks in the studio this week.
Yeah, you know who the first one in here was? You want to take a guess at that?
Juxta. Of course it was.
You piece of shit.
I see him in the background over there.
I'm right above your head.
Yeah.
Shaking the red for Red Mage.
I think that it's weird that we only have like a woot and jumping with and then the other one is like directing a plane.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's also a yellow one too, but nobody likes yellow.
What is the yellow one doing?
Waving it like back and forth over your head like this.
Oh, okay. Kind of like you were at like a concert. They're playing like a slow song, and you're just like, all right, let's light our
Team
lighters.
Instinct. We're a bunch of losers. Ooh.
That's good.
Anyway, so yeah.
That's it for or for Limit Break Radio news. Sorry.
Do you see how fucking out of it I am today? I am super out of it. I don't even know when to move the show along.
At this point, you would queue up the new.
Remute Juxta for Kallo.
Remove Juxta for Kallo? No.
Did they pay for it?
I mean, Ryoku did, yeah. He actually had...
Well, then there you go. You're gone. You're muted.
He's got like a
nice.
Shut up. Shut up. No one can hear you. Especially with the new noise gate. No one. It's even harder for people to hear you in the background now.
So you need to start yelling then?
No.
Just be quiet.
Yeah.
That's what we want you to do.
Just shut the fuck up.
Pretend you're not here.
Lick my balls!
I apologize, Kallo. Hashtag mute Kallo.
How the fuck are we supposed to do the news now?
We're back at square one!
Damn it!
God damn it, guys.
What is it?
I traded one.
Oh, okay. So that way now I have to carry the show?
Yes, one person's out of mute jail and the other one is in.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
Guess it's nap time for me.
Limit break napping.
I'm the one. Can someone mute Aniero so I can go nap? Is that possible?
No.
All right. There, both of you are.
All right.
All right.
810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com on Skype, limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you want to call in on Discord. We want to hear from you because
we need help carrying the show.
Square Enix is all they had to do was release the patch notes for Tuesday.
That's all they had to do. And you know what? They listened to the show, obviously, and we said
no patch notes.
We said the week prior we're gonna have patch notes today, hopefully, and they're like, oh, so you're gonna base your whole show around us having patch notes, huh? It would be a shame if they were not to be released.
Yeah, so please keep an eye on the lodestone and let us know if patch notes come out before the show is over.
Yeah,
I mean, we have stuff to talk about because we're amazing and we can create content.
Unlike some developers that live in Japan in a building called Square Enix headquarters.
Subtle.
Not to name any names.
That was subtle.
I know.
But you should also call in.
Subtlety is my specialty.
No, it's not. You could also call in, though, talk to us about literally anything you want. But we do have some news for once. So if we could cue the news, I need that before I can start reading.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a Limit Breaking News Update.
Surprise! There is not a whole lot in the way of news this week.
How is that a surprise?
Yeah, with Eureka, and it was sarcasm, irony. All right,
that was not the definition of irony.
Yeah, no, I think neither.
Ironic
of those.
because we don't actually have a surprise. They knew this was. Shut up! Look. Don't have a whole lot of news because of Eureka and patch 4.25 coming. Now, obviously, if you're listening to the podcast, you should already have that in your hands. But the one bit that Square Enix did announce was PvP and Feast related. So, it's only slightly more worthwhile than Lords of Verminion. They have announced the reward for placing in the top 100 for Season 7. Motherfuckers.
#mute Kali, #mute Nika, #mute Cookie. All hail Skuro.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here.
Let's ignore it. Let's ignore it. We're going to ignore that. Thank you for the money.
What? Okay.
The reward for placing in the top 100 is the mount that Xenos' mad scientist friend used. So, I can't be bothered to recall.
Oh, Hojo?
Sure, we're going to call him Hojo because I can't be bothered to remember his name based on the fact that they didn't keep him around long enough to be of any real use anyhow. Even though I thought that he was really cool, blah, 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 whatever. Mount looks neat, and the trophy you get to decorate your house with is also kind of cool looking, I guess. All of this is, again, for Season 7, which will commence on March 13th, a.k.a. Patch Day. Do you guys remember that scientist's name?
Hojo,
yeah.
Did they actually even give it? They might not have even said his name.
No, it was definitely Hojo.
Was it?
I can remember it very clearly. I can see clearly now.
No, it's definitely not.
The rain is
it's
gone.
definitely not Hojo, but it should have been Hojo.
Some lore nut in the chat, I'm sure, will let us know what it is. So the other piece of news today, and this is the one that tickled me the most. So a post popped up on Twitter claiming to have been banned, most likely due to the Ungarmax exploit we mentioned last week. As a reminder, Ungarmax is a level 1 limit break you can use while in squadron missions. It basically does a big chunk of damage and grants the party 50% damage bonus. Now, this exploit allowed you to use it outside of squadron in any content so long as you hand keyed or macroed in the command. Now, again, this is found on Reddit, so I'm going to go ahead and read the OP's post, but I'd like to point out that
Hold on, you're reading a Reddit post?
I am.
Are we Motherboard now? Are we reporting on Reddit?
Yeah.
This is your news.
This is one of the newses. This isn't all of our content, but it is in the news. Motherboard would be like, hey, this is a giant story now. But we're not. That's not us. Look, we've already done 30 minutes, so we're already better than Motherboard. Anyway, I wasn't able to find anybody else who had claimed to have been banned for these. So as far as I'm aware, and again, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but, this was like the only visible instance of it that I've seen. So they say, woke up to this email today. I have never once botted in FF14 in years of playing. I don't talk about ACT in game. I have, however, used Ungarmax a handful, and then in parentheses, maybe 4 to 5 times, outside of squadron content, since a friend told me about it months ago, but never to clear any high-end content. I think 1 or 2 times were just on super spaghetti runs and ultimate coil of Bahamut progression. If my group was derping on Nail and, you know, we needed to get regular Bahamut and practice that more. The other 1 to 3 times were with full pre-mades, no one from Duty Finder to report people, expert roulette runs, messing around and seeing how high we could make things crit. He then provides a link to the email from SE. He says, I haven't seen anything posted about Ungarmax bans yet, so yeah, there it is. Now, the email from SE, you know, says the reason you've been banned is because of this clause, which would include stuff like botting and blah, 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 and stuff like that. But yeah, he seems to think it was from Ungarmax, and remember, he's never used it to clear any high-level endgame content.
I don't know. Ultimate Coil of Bahamut's pretty high-end.
No, super spaghetti runs. They were doing super spaghetti runs of Ultimate Coil of Bahamut progression.
Those are still Ultimate Bahamut runs. And B, when do I get the spaghetti job? Because I want to eat some spaghetti in game.
I think this does 2 things. The first thing is this guy pointing out that he's doing, you know, super spaghetti runs of Ultimate Coil. If that isn't considered endgame content, then only the stuff above that is considered endgame content, which leaves a lot for FF14 hardcore raiders to do, right?
That was Irek. Ironic.
Irek? That was Irek.
Who the fuck is Irek?
Who the fuck is Irek?
Irek. It's like dot I, like lowercase and then capital I, Rick.
Who's Rick then?
Grandpa? Rick Sanchez? Rick and Morty?
I'm not gonna give that one to you. No,
I wouldn't either.
I don't know where that one was going.
The second thing is, do you guys even think that this is Ungarmax related? If only a single person, all right, sorry, not a single person. The only posts, because again, I went through the post to see if anybody else had claimed that maybe they had been banned from it as well, and from what I saw, nobody else claimed that they've also recently been banned. But one of the comments says, thanks for the information, QP. A few questions that a few questions that might be helpful for the community. 1, can you verify that you alone were the one who typed the command and used Ungarmax each time? 2,
$5 for 5 words.
Oh, good job, Mathomancer.
Okay. Congrats for mancing math correctly, and thank you for the money.
Thank you.
2, was the use of the exploit discussed among party members in game? And 3, were the people you were raiding doing expert with suspended, banned as well? And could you provide an update if they are? To which the OP said that 2 people in my group are banned currently. Both of us are the only people who actually used the /AC Ungarmax command. Any discussion happened in voice on Discord, and the other 6 members of my group are untouched, and this is probably why, and of course that answered question 3 as well. So according to him, only the people who actually used the Ungarmax command got banned, and they didn't talk about it. But don't you think that it would have been a little bit bigger than this?
More people getting banned?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We haven't heard anything from SE. Have we? Normally, like honestly, when we talked about the Ungarmax exploit last show, I don't think that I thought that any bans would even happen at all. Why is my first question. Everyone gets to do all the content eventually, and it's not like we're worrying about any kind of world first racing or clearing or anything like this. It's a silly thing that popped up in the middle of a patch. The Pomander thing was the last thing that I think happened similar to this.
Did anyone get banned for that?
I can't recall anyone being banned for that.
I feel like people use that in the feast, that would be a lot more detrimental to the game as a whole.
You'd get like a way bigger consequence for that, right? Yeah, because you're also like screwing other people,
affecting other people's playtime.
If there was bans, I don't think that they had discussed them at all, or publicly. Sorry. No, Square Enix, I don't think had made any types.
Or there weren't enough bans to have it flag on like a Reddit or something. You know,
it didn't like for. How did you use the Pomanders back in the day? Didn't you have to like use some kind of like like third-party tool for that, or am I making that part up?
You might be making that part
because it wasn't just PvP. Because remember, we saw the video of the Zervon fight, and someone had used it in a Zervon fight because they cleared the whole thing like in under 60 seconds, didn't they? That was the Pomander glitch,
I think.
Yeah. So to me, that's and that was actually fresh content as well. So if people are potentially being banned for using Ungarmax in Binding Coil, and according to him, they didn't even use it to clear it, they're just still practicing it. I don't know, either this isn't Ungarmax related and this guy got banned for some other thing, or Square Enix is just being really inconsistent with stuff.
I can't see why Square Enix would ban people for using this if it wasn't in the actually at all, because all you're doing is using a command that is given to you in the game.
Well, I mean, there is obviously look in the user agreement. There is very specifically, and again, this is something that they state in the email that was sent to the guy, that if you use a known bug or exploit, that's against the user agreement.
Okay,
as well.
But was it a bug, or was it a known bug, or was it just something that
if they
did Square Enix say it was a bug?
Well, first of all, yes, it's a bug. You're using it outside of Squadron content. Of course it's a bug. And the fact that you have to type in /AC Ungarmax multiple times, you're not accidentally doing that shit.
I mean, you're just making macros, so like I don't really see how you could be misconstrued as a bug. You're just using a command that's given to you in the game.
Okay, I understand that you're trying to play the devil's advocate to maybe, help
Square Enix being inconsistent. Is this really news?
I mean, I guess not. And honestly, the thing that surprises me most about it is just... all right, if you're going to ban them, make a show of it, right? If you're going to ban them because you want to enforce the rules, then put out an announcement that says people have been banned for using the Ungarmax exploit. Don't do it again. If you're not going to make a show of it, then I don't feel like that really accomplishes anything. Because again, at this point, Ultimate Binding Coil isn't really worth it anymore. It's considered old content.
It's dead,
right?
At this point.
And that's why I never really gave a shit about, all right, some guys are using Ungarmax, maybe to clear, maybe not to clear. Who gives a crap? I don't know. To me, the whole thing just feels really weird and out of place. Okay.
You are next, LBR.
Oh God, it was Ungarmax.
What?
Ungarmax donated the $5.
Oh, thank you.
Next.
Thank you, Ungarmax.
Oh no,
we appreciate that.
Whatever will we do?
Oh no, don't ban us. Yeah. Then we won't be able to play this game.
Ungarmax us. Oh no.
50 damage % up.
Yeah. Be interested to know what you guys think on this. If you think that people using this stupid little glitch should have been banned or not. I guess another thing that comes into play is, depending on what his history was, because apparently he got a 9-day ban or 716 hours, which people in the thread were saying that's usually
step one before a permanent ban.
Before a permanent ban, and that basically at the end of that, which I think will end up being on patch day or something like that, is when he'll find out. Is when you know for sure if you're unbanned or if that turns into a permanent ban.
Man, I don't think you should ban people for this.
And again,
I mean, I'm kind of with Kallo on this. If you do, make it publicly known. Like Mr. Meeseeks in the chat said, make an example out of people.
Exactly.
If you're gonna do that, you can't be also
cloak and dagger
you can't be cloak and dagger about it. You can't be all in the shadows about it. Like, those people have got to be made an example of, and other people have got to look at that as like the reason not to fuck around.
This is the precedence. Clearly this is obviously not supposed to be used outside of Squadron, so if you do something else like this, you will be banned.
Okay, see,
that's fair, but I don't know.
Here's the other part of it that kind of baffles me. Square Enix will use anything that they possibly can to put out a fucking lodestone update to make it look like they're doing shit in this game, okay? We didn't even get any type of official response about known bug, Ungarmax. It's been removed. Even after they removed it from the game, we got no official word about it. And the fact that, there was this glitch, we fixed it, and people who have used it illicitly have been banned or punished seems like a perfectly legitimate lodestone announcement to put out.
I don't think so, because this would look negatively on their game, and they don't want any bad press. Because we fucked up, we made a bug, and it was kind of bad, so we had to ban people because of our mistake. It's kind of bad press.
Look, Yoshi has, I think it was on Twitter or somewhere, because someone had transcribed the post. It's the one that we had talked, or translated the post. That's the one that we had talked about last episode. If your game director / producer is publicly commenting on it already, then why not?
Well, that's on the forums. That's super deep within the little Square Enix bubble. On the Lodestone, like that stuff gets put on like on the opening launcher and stuff, and 90% of the people won't actually go to the forums to read this, so 90% of people won't even know this existed.
All right, I mean maybe, but I feel like they should have made an example out of it. The only other time that we get...
I was also banned because Ungarmax. I had to go to Ungarmax Anonymous to get help.
Hashtag me too.
I was about to ask you to call in and talk to us, but never mind.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
Thank you for the donation, though. As you say, the only other thing that they've made posts or lodestone posts about when it comes to banning anything, because again, we can't recall if they banned anyone for the Pomander stuff, but the only time they ever talk about bans is if it's RMT related.
Well, yeah, because then that puts Square Enix in like the shining knight of light aspect. It's like, aha, we have quelled this evil that exists within our game. You should look to us and be thankful that we destroyed 700 accounts.
700 seems generous.
It was before. It was in 2.0.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Give us a call. Let us know what you think. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, otherwise, that's it for news. Not a whole lot going on.
That's it for LBR.
Again.
So we're holding the show hostage.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're going to nap. The ball's in your court.
No, there's actually something I wanna talk about that went down on our Discord. Maybe I don't know. I feel like maybe we're being hypocrites about something or other. We come on the show every week, and it's no secret that we're not the biggest fans of the game or the direction it's going in right now, right? Have we ever, that you guys can think of, straight up told anyone they shouldn't play this game? Like, have you ever, do you feel like we've ever, with actual intent, tried to scare people away from the game, like deter them from playing it,
or someone who was new, who was playing the game and they were having fun with it?
Yeah. Now I understand that the way that we come across, that could turn people off. I get that 100%. But do you guys feel like we've ever just actually been like, nah, fuck Square Enix, you guys shouldn't play this game, take your money,
unsub
and go
right now
elsewhere,
and if you're gonna play this game, just don't? Have we ever said that before? I mean, I don't think so. I've always been the personal advocate of, my personal opinion has always been, this game is really good for new players. And if you haven't played this game before, then you should play it, because it's probably has the best new player experience. And like, new people should come and play this game because it's a great experience.
Yeah. Now what actually brought this up is we had a friend of ours who's been a long time LBR friend who was complaining in our Discord. Basically the same thing that people come to the show and complain about all the time. You guys are so negative. Why do you even play the game if you hate it so much? Go do something else. And it was really weird at first. Like, I didn't even know how to respond, because I'm like, this guy has known us for I think the entire time that we've been doing Limit Break Radio. I mean, pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Like I can't put a date on it. So 10 plus years. Yeah. He should get this by now. And it wasn't until, a few of our Discord people, we're talking back and forth with him. Aniero, you exchange a few messages too. And then he kind of pointed out, he's like, no. I'm not talking about the show. I know why you guys, do the show and why the show's the way that it is. Right. But he's like, just in this chat, in our Discord Final Fantasy XIV chat, and I don't even necessarily think he was referring to us either. He was referring to our Discord members. And I think in that sense, he kind of had a point. Now we obviously pointed out that we have other Discord chats and people do play and talk about other things. But what was interesting that I don't think I ever really made the connection with, even though we do it, is, you know, people come to the show, they think the whole, oh, you guys still play, blah, 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 blah. Well, because A, you guys donate to our Patreon and you expect us to bring you content, so we're going to do that. And a large amount of you have come to grown accustomed to and expect us to be unbiased, unabashed, and just tell you how it is, which we do. And again, we do that on this show. And anyone who listens to the show, if that's all they do, it might seem like that's literally all that we talk about. But
right, and again, you know, we get this reputation of being either, you know, salty or you know, frustrated or whatever, you know, whatever the
emotion is.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, there's a whole bunch of different, you know, charges that get leveled against the show all the time that are like, oh, well, you know, you guys are just simply unfair to FF14. And a lot of times, you know, I think that comes from, you know, people coming in who haven't been playing as long as we have, and I get that. Like, there's part of me that a big part of me gets and understands that. At the same time, though, you know, like, because we've been here for so long, someone coming in for the first time, listening to this show, who's never heard it before, I think is really going to have a tough time understanding why we still do Limit Break Radio.
And that's fair. That's fair. I think that's something that we have noticed ourselves, and something that we've kind of talked about before. But, you know, this particular person, no, it wasn't Darkstar. It was actually, like I said, a good friend of ours, someone that we're still on good terms with.
Yes, very.
You know, what I noticed was, outside of the game, when we're not playing, we don't try and throw ourselves at FF14. You know, we play a little bit. We do maybe Reset Day, Juxta, you know, I think it streams here and there sort of too. Nika's playing all the fucking time still. I don't know how, but we don't.
She's just AFKs in the corner.
Does that?
That's
kind of, yeah. That's her.
Okay, so I don't think that really counts then. Nika's not even playing. But we do play other games. Juxta does Overwatch. I do Overwatch, Monster Hunter. I think Nate drinks and throws himself into his work. So we do have other things that we do. But when it comes to the Discord chat, no one is being paid to show up there, right? No one has to do that. You get to choose how to spend your time. And he's kind of right. Why do people go to that chat and do nothing but shit on the game the entire time that they're there? Which leads me into the next point. This was the thing that actually really bothered me, as someone came in and said that they were new. I think they said they were on Sargatanis, or basically just asking how much we play, and I think they wanted like to get invited to the link shell or whatnot. And 3 or 4 of our members were straight up just like, nah, you don't want to do that. Don't play this game. This game is shitty. Don't do it. And that really bothered me for some reason. Do we give off that vibe?
I think sometimes, yeah. I think sometimes people take what they hear on the show and just end up repeating it without ever even
like the context behind it.
Yeah, or even necessarily even agreeing with it. And you know, every show is going to have that. Every show, no matter what kind of show you do, you're going to have those people who just kind of come out of the woodwork and amplify things that you say, and then take it to a place where it's like, yeah, that's not at all what I was talking about. I didn't mean, that's not at all what I meant.
Yeah, see, because I'm fine with someone maybe coming in for 5 minutes, hearing a section of the show, popping out and thinking that way. Like fine, if you're not going to stay to get the whole message and you misinterpret something out of context, or even just a little bit of context, that's fine. You didn't do your due diligence of actually informing yourself, right? But if people who are constantly listening to us think that we want to drive people away from the game, you know, I answered the guy back and I'm like, first of all, don't listen to these guys. Play the game. It's actually great for new players. And I think that was one of the reasons he was confused, is because he came in, he said he started playing, was looking for FF14 podcasts, and what he had heard of us so far, he had liked. So it's not like we had driven him away. Quite the opposite. Obviously, he came to join our Discord to maybe, you know, get more involved with our community. But I guess I just wanted to be clear that FF14 is not a bad game. See, look, hearing this out of context, you might think like, oh, they're hypocrites. They're turning it around. They're changing their
story again.
Right.
They're
Patreon dropped too low. Look at them.
They're flip-flopping.
Dying podcast.
Yeah.
It's a great game for new players. And if it was free to play, as we've said before, it would be the best free to play game that's out there. Right. But when it comes to veteran players, when it comes to people who are looking for what I would call like a full-time MMO player, someone who wants to do like a single MMO as a hobby, the same way that someone would do sports, where they're able to go and they join a practice, they join a league or a team, and it's something that they do for several hours a day. After a couple months, in our case, years, there's not enough in this game to sustain you. And when I explained it to this guy too, he's like, "Oh, I get that." He had the same burnout on, and I wasn't listening to him, but he mentioned another.
Wow! What a piece of shit!
Fucking dick!
I talk to so many fans all the time, guys, because I am so popular.
Yeah. You talk to the fans. You don't talk with them because you're not listening.
There's just a lot of stuff going on, and I have a lot of things to keep. Look, the point is,
what a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, seriously.
The point is,
fucking asshole.
At least I have the courtesy not to talk to him at all if I'm not going to listen.
The point is, he said that he's felt the exact same thing about another MMO that he used to play, and so he gets it, right? So it's just weird that even after all of this, the thing that sort of bothered me the most was that we have people that have the full context, that listen to every show, and they're out there like trying to chase people. You guys don't have to do that. The game will eventually do that itself, okay?
Well, and I think that it's important to let people make their own decisions and their own choices about the things that they consume. Like if you hear this show and you like the show and you understand that it's all it's all kind of in good fun, and that we're criticizing something that we've been involved with for a long time, and it's not undue criticism. All of those things are really important pieces of context to understand about this show. And there are times where I am concerned that people are just kind of taking something out of context and applying a different context to it, or just simply repeating shit that they hear us say, where it may be a joke, it may be out of hand, it may be dismissive, but at the end of the day, we're still here every single week, right? Like, we're still here making sure that there is a show for Limit Break Radio. And that's not because of the Patreon. It's because we really like doing this show, and I think that our frustration with the product needs to, people need to understand that. Maybe we have some new listeners in the audience that have just found the show or are just picking up the game for the first time. And I understand that we don't make the show for them. Right? Like, we make the show for us. We make the show for our fans. We don't really care if you don't get it. Like Robbie said, that comes up to not doing your due diligence. Yeah,
there's definitely a certain element to the show that the longer you're with us, the more investment you have with it, or the more of affinity you have with it. We've always prided ourselves on being a group of friends that just talk about something that we love, and the longer you listen to that, you start to become, feel like you're part of that. And I mean, there's even along the way, some really weird psycho people who start to think they are our friends, and we have to pay someone to deal with them. But the longer you listen, the more in tune and I think in sync with us that you are. And I guess that's why it bothers me, is I'm used to the fact that someone comes in and they're like, "Oh, stop playing the game then if you hate it." You get to dismiss it as, well, you don't have the full context, so of course you're going to be that way. It's easy to wipe it away. But now you have people who do get it, who have been with you the whole time, and the way that they're acting seems to be like, yeah, they hate this game and they don't want other people to play it. I mean, I guess it's not surprising, and I guess it does make sense, because people do that all over the place for any number of things and content and cliches and just whatever. And I guess this is the first time that I've seen it happen like in our backyard, and for some reason it bothered me.
No, I as well as I think that it should bother you. You know, I think that we've spent a lot of time cultivating a critical and cynical community, and you know, I don't think that any of us want trolliness to come out of it. You know, I mean, a certain level of trolliness, sure.
Fun trolling.
Yeah, there's a difference between that and actually like trying to destroy.
Try hard 7.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Not that kind of troll. We don't like that.
Right. So, you know, like, I don't know. I want to hear from people about whether or not they've run into this, whether or not they agree. Give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Let's go over to our phone lines and talk to Nutella Waffles of Adamantoise. What's up, Nutella?
Delicious.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
So I called in. I was listening to an episode, oh my God, a couple weeks ago, I think, where it was specifically about you and how you were harassed about your DPS.
FFXIV
Hang on.
For the best players. Check out their rig guides and job guides to improve your game today.
Thanks, Nuclear Theology. Sorry, we had a donation come through.
That's all good. As I was saying, I was listening. I think it was either a couple of weeks ago or maybe last week. It was the one where you were specifically harassed in Aniero about your DPS,
which is not bad, by the way.
I mean, if this was an extreme primal at the minimum, I would understand it, because that's, you know, an enrage. There's a time limit on that. This is normal mode fucking Sigmascape. Are you kidding me? That is the dumbest shit ever. And then they were harassing you over Twitter. Do people not think that FF14 is not going to see it, the dev team's not going to see it and say, this is exactly why we can't have parses? Because this is the type of shit that's going to go on.
Yeah. Kind of good point. Here's the thing. I haven't heard much from those harassers recently, and I don't know if they got an anonymous tip, if Square Enix got an anonymous tip about them using ACT or not, but I haven't seen them on the game either, so yeah.
Got his ass.
May not have been the smartest thing to do, to take a podcast host parse score that he did not ask for and harass him with it on Twitter. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen because of that. It may be I don't know what happens. Is that a permanent account or permanent ban? Is that a temp ban? I suspect if that's the case, I'm probably going to end up hearing about it.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's completely dumb. I mean, especially in public. Now, I don't know if they're going to do anything if they only go off of what was on Twitter. Unless they harassed you in game, I highly doubt they're going to do anything about it. But, you know, this comes back to kind of what you were saying earlier, where, you know, the veteran players who've been around for a while are saying, don't play this game, you know, or play this game. And then they come around with this stuff, you know, about DPS. Oh, you need to be X amount of DPS. And, you know, these new players are seeing this like, well, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. They're just going to bail. And, you know, if enough players bail or don't even start playing, eventually the game's going to go away because they can't sustain it.
Well, it'll go free to play before it goes away.
Oh, God.
That's what I think. That's what I think we'll have a much higher chance of it going free to play before it goes fully goes away. But I mean, your point's not lost on me, Mr. Waffles. I do think that you know, the more people that do dumb shit like that, and listen, again, I've got really thick skin. I don't give a shit. You can talk shit about me on Twitter all day. You can. I've had all of Reddit talking shit about me. I don't really care. It's not a thing that really bothers me or makes me self-conscious in any way, shape, or form. But the thing that I do think that you bring up a great point. The thing that people don't realize when they do shit like that is that it does send a message to the developers about why or why not they can't add a feature like that. And I do think that is a great example, a great anecdotal example of what the developers are concerned about.
Well, yeah, the way that I look at it too, and I can't believe that I never really put two and two together like that. That is such great insight. But what happened in that particular instance, I feel like that is the best worst case scenario, because again, it was in a fucking normal Sigmascape. No one died allegedly. I think somebody, maybe a tank, died at one point, but you beat it. You cleared it. No time. Everybody got exactly what they expected themselves to get. This guy brings it to Twitter. You go, I don't give a shit. And at that point, I feel like in just about any instance, if you're trying to start shit with someone and they just don't care, then it just goes away. But they kept pushing and harassing and pushing and harassing, and we turned it into content. So thank you for that, by the way, whoever the hell you were. But in most cases, that's not what would happen. And Square Enix looks at this and goes, see, we put parsers in game. They're going to be doing this to every single person that ends up coming into their party some way or another. It's going to be this huge epidemic, and it's going to breed all types of hostility and toxicity. That right there is perfect proof and validation for not doing it. And honestly, at this point now, having pointed this out to me, I don't blame Square Enix for not putting parsers in the game.
No, because I'm going to play devil's advocate and say, because parsers aren't in the game and this is an isolated incident, this is the only reason this existed is because parsers are not in the game. If parsers were in the game, then this could happen all the time, and it wouldn't, because proof is World of Warcraft. People don't witch hunt over parsers on World of Warcraft.
You do get kicked for your parser. No. See, okay, I see what you're saying. You think that if parsers were in there, that this wouldn't happen.
But yeah, because it should be so widespread.
Okay.
Could
if it's so widespread, it is still happening.
But it doesn't matter at that point.
Because it's so normalized.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that is not an excuse at all. Let's just everybody do it so that way it doesn't become a... If everyone's harassed, no one's harassed, that's your logic?
Seems logical to me.
That is actually your logic. You are a terrible person.
If everybody is harassed, no one is harassed.
No, you are.
Change my mind.
Oh, you are so bad. You are so bad. Mr. Waffles, was there anything else that you wanted to add?
I mean, yeah, like I said, DPS doesn't really matter unless you're hitting an enrage in a savage fight.
Agree.
Or extreme primal. And even then, it's not going to matter. The tanks should not be the first one you fucking look at, because they've got a whole other set of problems they're worrying about. Cooldowns. Are they doing their cooldown rotation? Are they holding threat? Then, they're going to be worrying about getting healed. Is the healer healing enough, et cetera, et cetera. So the healers are off the table. If there's a DPS issue, the first person, and I'm as a DPS, I feel like I should have the right to say this. Look at the fucking DPS. If the DPS is not performing at, like, say, a green parse on flogs, or whatever they want to determine the standard is, then that's the first issue I would look at, because they're the ones who are doing 100% of the damage 90% of the time. They're the ones dealing all the damage. Then I would look at the tanks and make sure, okay, where can we squeeze out extra damage if they're doing everything else is on lock? And then finally the healers, because they got to heal and keep everyone alive.
Well, I think in that parse too, not to necessarily call this guy out, but that red mage was even well below Aniero, and I'm pretty sure everyone except for maybe the guy who did the parse was under 2K or close to it as well. So yeah, no, I definitely think that honestly in this instance, this was just an poor attempt at character assassination and trying to what's the word when you want to make someone seem like they're not an authority?
They were trying to discredit.
There you go. Yeah, that's literally all it came down to. And again, whoever that person was, gave us fodder for 3 episodes now? Two or 3 episodes? So,
yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. Mr. Waffles, thank you very much for the call. Appreciate it. If you want to give us a call, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. I will apologize if people are noticing that the sound is getting a little bit wonky at times. I'm still trying to, I'm like dialing everything in as we're doing the show. So, just so you guys are aware, I am kind of, working on this as we go. So let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Dark Flux of Adamantoise. What's going on, Dark Flux?
Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about.
Hang on.
Yes, you will become as useless as Skuro. So say we all.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Man, these donations are getting really on point with interrupting callers.
They really are. Yeah, they really are. Anyway, what's up?
Yeah, so I'd quit the game for a while, and so like when 4.2 was coming out, I had some of my friends who had also quit were kind of like, hey, we're gonna start playing again. Let's try, getting the gang back together. So I decided to resub and got bored within a week. And then I had another friend who was like, hey, I'm going to make a new character on one of the preferred worlds to get the double XP bonus. And so I decided to join them in that venture, and I've been leveling a new character, and it's been a much more fun experience than playing my actual main character, which is kind of weird.
Well, and I think that exposes a little bit of, some of the frustration that FF14 players are having, especially those that are at endgame and have been there for so long, that there always seems like there's a plethora of stuff to do when you're just starting out, and that end of the game never stops seeing development. That end of the game, that leveling part of the game, is constantly receiving overworld development, and I think that part of it is really starting to get frustrating for long-term players.
And the reason why is because you're right. A lot of really good calls today. When you're leveling, you have a goal that you're working towards, and that's that cap, right? That never changes. That's always gonna be there, and it never. When it does move, actually, they just add more to it, but they never really do a whole lot to ease that. They introduce new, maybe funner ways to do it, such as Deep Dungeon, or as you said, the triple XP campaign. But you always still have to go to level 80, right? But once you get there, when you have your end game aspirations, whether that's getting your tome gear or doing the raid, that never feels, at least to me, as worthwhile, because those goalposts are absolutely always being moved closer to you, or in some cases, like when the next patch and tomestones come out, some of those goalposts will actually be removed in favor of moving other ones closer to you. Square Enix is not going to give you level 80 unless you buy a jump potion, right? But eventually, they are going to give you those tomestones and that gear a lot easier.
I think I think that is fair, and I think that is what most MMOs should do. It's the jump potions. It's it's the
rate at which they move the goalpost. I don't ever feel like a goalpost should feel like it's been removed. If you want to come back after, let's say someone's just coming to Stormblood right now, all they have to do is get to 80, and then they're already getting is it Creation or Verity right now? The one that was just moved to normal dungeons.
Creation?
I don't care.
Whatever, right? They're getting those.
Who gives a shit?
And they have to start working towards their Mendacity or Mencia tokens, whatever the fuck they are, okay? Whereas I remember when I started World of Warcraft back in, I think, the Burning Crusade, in order to get caught up to where Juxta was in Karazhan, which was the current raid content, I had to do the dungeons, gather the gear, and start like basically unlocking. And I still had to progress through stuff that nobody was really doing right now. They weren't doing as much, but people were still doing it. And that's why you ease content. When people stop doing it as much, you ease the difficulty of it so that people who were stuck can now get through it. But I don't think you should ever offer them a shortcut around to completely bypass it.
No, because that's boring. Who wants to? I mean, I can't. There's always going to be people who will shell out for the easy answer. But I think that like if you're an MMO player, why would you even want that? You know what I mean?
As an MMO developer, why would you want all of that content to just die at that point?
Or why?
In regards to the content, like there's something I've noticed. Like I kind of like came to me after like replaying all this stuff. Yeah. You get to level 50, you get to the end of A Realm Reborn, you have to go through all the patches story, but you unlock like 12 dungeons that you have to unlock all at the same time. So like for a new player, that would be like completely overwhelming, and like they would have no idea where to start. And in regards to like Crystal Tower, with the original Crystal Tower quest, you actually had to do something to unlock it. You had to. It was fates, which is, you know, dumb. But at the same time, you still had to work to. You had an attunement quest, which this game really lacks. It wasn't hard to do. It just was a little time consuming. But if they started to do that more, I think in more current content, it would help with server issues where like not everyone is going to be going to that one piece of content all at the same time. It kind of scatters people about. And also it makes it so it makes the content feel more worth it when you're actually having to work for it, or like there's extra content to do the content.
Yeah, look, it's definitely a double-edged sword, okay? Because I get the argument against gated content or you know, in this case, attunements. It was one of the big things that I think after Burning Crusade that World of Warcraft
really got rid of,
had cut out, right? But I think that Square Enix is going too far with it, because I do think that having you. Silence your phone, Dark Flux, and your weeaboo persona bullshit. Got him, Juxta, don't worry.
You just trapped yourself, because now we all know that you know what that sound effect is from.
Well, because I played the game. I don't do it in real life, though. Anyway.
Hold on. What? I've seen your phone, and you have like a little conversation IM thing that looks exactly like Persona.
But it doesn't have the sound to alert everybody else and bring them into this weeaboo nightmare, especially when I'm trying to do a radio show.
He's got a point. He's got a point there.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Back to my point, though. I think that there is
closet weeb.
I do think, says the guy with the wall scrolls.
They're gone. Not that you would know. Because you haven't been in my house.
Because you have a dumb baby.
I have a wonderful baby.
The point is, there is definitely a place for gated content and attunement, because you're right, it does give a sense of accomplishment, right? It's this wall that you had to overcome instead of just sitting in the Adventurers Guild waiting for the patch where they give it to you, okay? One of the things that I don't think that World of Warcraft did correctly with their attunements back in the day was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Juxta, but they never really eased the requirements of them. You always still had to go through these hideously long quest chains that you usually had to get your guildmates to help you with, because nobody did that content as much anymore, right? And I think that's
to do like heroic dungeons back then too, so it was actually like relatively difficult content.
Yes.
It was actually whereas like the Crystal Tower quest, it was just doing fates, which is like nothing. It requires like zero effort. It just requires you to wait around and
yeah, and Square Enix has implemented changes to help ease the effort behind doing fates when nobody else is doing them. And I think that that's the right way around it. Don't just completely get rid of gated content, or don't completely get rid of attunements, but as less and less people are doing them, you should ease the requirements, because trying to find a party or just to get someone to do it with you shouldn't be part of that challenge.
Well, I mean, I think also with the way they did Deltascape and Sigmascape, with just having that little solo instance at the beginning is like a step in like a good direction, because like you have to kind of do something for it.
Except,
like it's not hard, but
yeah, except though that it's so quick that it's like I forget that it even happened until you mentioned it. Like you know what I mean? Like that's never the way that you want to present content either, where it's like, oh, that was a thing. Right now I know what you're talking about.
And Danny Luma didn't even use Audible in Final Fantasy VI. They got it completely wrong.
Oh, shut up. And this is where I think the biggest flaw in Square Enix recent designs come into play here, because both you and Aniero are right. Introducing something like that as a sort of gate, I think, is a step in the right direction, but because of the way that they design content and because of the fact that it has no teeth, it does just seem like a waste. And so no one on the development side is going to look at that and be like, that was really cool when we did that. They'll just be like, oh no, that didn't do anything, so let's not do it again, because nobody even remembers or recalls that, and they end up discarding it.
Well, and I think also one of the things that FF14 has been really bad at as an MMO is directing you through content that you almost immediately a week out you forget about, right? Like there's the stuff that you grind over and over again, and you kind of, you know, that's like sort of etched into your memory, but there's enough other content out there that should be something that springs to mind when someone asks what's so great about FF14. And it's like, by virtue of the fact that you're only ever doing it once, that you kind of forget that as a part of the whole content presentation. And I think that ends up being a strike against the whole content presentation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Aqueducts. The few times that I had done Aqueducts, I had fun with it, but you never go back and do it. And even when they announce updates to it, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a thing. Why should I do it now? Oh, well, for pets and minions and glamour gear that you can get elsewhere.
I think,
oh, you mean Aquapolis?
I think Square Enix also did something kind of short-sighted in trying to make their end game also their middle game, right?
Yeah.
Like there's really leveling, and then there's stuff to do after you're done leveling, and there's some overlap between them. There's dungeons, and there's circle arena boss fights and stuff like that. And once you get to the end of the leveling, there should be like with FF11, there was an entire second game that opened up to you once you hit level cap, and I don't feel like you ever get that same experience with FF14. And I think that's an essential part of an MMO that needs to be there, right? Like I think that's a highly appealing aspect to an MMO, and something that specifically someone who's looking for an MMO or has been a veteran player for an MMO for a long time is always going to be trying to seek out, and is always going to be measuring that against whatever their favorite game was.
Well, if you want to go right back to the reason that not even just MMOs, but I think that's where it works the best, or when it's in its prime, is video games, adventure, RPGs. The whole idea is to go out, have new experiences in adventure, create this community, a party, form friendships and bonds and all of this. And, well, yes, okay, they have a narrative through the MSQ to where you're, quote-unquote, doing this. As a player, just looking in, there's no adventure to it. You're doing the same thing every single time. Run down a predetermined path in the hallway, fight something in a circle room.
Pretty much
every single time. Where's the actual suspense and excitement from that? Once you do something for the first time, it's gone. If it was even there to begin with. Oh, doing Hell's Lid. I wonder where the path is because I can't see it. There's just lava. Oh, okay. We're just going to go through the lava, which was cool the first time. I actually did like that.
Right. But I mean, like, how many times have we said, like, yeah, this is going to be cool for a week, and then once the week is up, we're going to move on. It's going to be old hat. That's been one of the core complaints about FF14 since, we got into Heaven's Word. Once we really started to notice how this treadmill was going to be progressing. And I mean, yeah, I think that there's legitimacy to that.
And it's this line of, and again, this could just be our own line of thinking that's putting us in this rut. But that's what's stopping me from truly getting hyped about Eureka, is even if I go in and I have a ton of fun doing it, when patch 3.3 or patch 3.4 comes, what's going to be the reason to do Eureka? Because all the gear that comes out with those is going to outclass it. Here in the chat, Tiro233 says, I am 100% optimistic that Eureka is going to be a complete success. Complete success, the very best FF14 could ever have. Now, Tiro,
I'd love to share that optimism.
But I would also encourage you to call in and talk to us, because even if it is, I guess I want to know in your head, what does a 100% success, what does that mean to you? Because to me, in order for it to be a 100% success, yeah, sure, I have to have fun in it, but I feel like it needs to break the monotony of what Square Enix is currently doing right now. And even if I do have fun when the next patch comes out, if we move on past it because it's not relevant anymore, do you still count that as a success?
Give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Thanks, Dark Flux, for giving us a call. Let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Meterman of Cactar. What's going on, Meterman? Meter Man.
Are you
there?
muted, buddy?
Are you muted, sir? Meter Man.
Meter Man.
Are you there, sir?
Come on, Meter Man.
Look into a mirror and say Meter Man 3 times, guys.
2, 1. No, Meter Man.
Okay, I'm tired of waiting for the phone to ring.
No, Meter Man.
Meter Man.
It's too bad.
Meter no man.
That is too bad.
Taro says, well, it's not going to be Diadem. We can all agree on that.
Can we? What if it's just Diadem with an elemental wheel?
What if it is just Diadem with an elemental wheel?
Elemental dem.
Serious? No. Serious question. What if it is only Diadem with an elemental wheel? And no flying.
All right, this is what happens. A, we are going to have a very yelly and angry show next Sunday. 2, absolutely nothing will change for me, and they will never get my goodwill or hype or optimism ever again.
They will have broken your trust.
I mean, it's already pretty broke, but I am willing to give them this last one shot cautiously, but after this, yeah.
I mean, I think that they've got a lot riding on the success of Eureka here. Like, if Eureka ends up being bad, how much of the standing population do you see FF14 losing?
Oh my gosh. See, here's the thing. I don't even think that it needs to be bad for that to happen, right? If it's... do you count more of the same as bad?
I mean, we do, but a lot of...
No. I don't know that I do. I would, if they came out with something that's more of the same, and people can get 2 or 3 weeks worth of grinding out of it, or if they have multiple jobs and they stay in there, they can get all types of grinding out of it. All right, fine. That's like middle of the road. All right, but if all that they have is an elemental wheel that you have to make sure that you turn to not take as much damage from something or to do more damage from it, and then other than that, it's fates and books. Like, if that's what it comes out, and that's what it ends up being, and NMs. So someone said fates, but without boundaries. If that's what it ends up, that's what they are.
Guys, we're getting rid of the circle rooms. Now you're just fighting the boss in the world
everywhere. But no, in that case, to me, that's not enough. But that's fine for FF14, right? And if I wasn't paying for it, that would be perfectly acceptable to me. But honestly, they need to go so much bigger. Like, I expect, first of all, that Eureka out the gate, there isn't just a weapon for us to upgrade. I think that both weapon and gear should be available out the gate.
It should be.
Yeah.
I think the way that Yoshi was talking and that what I heard is that gear and weapons will be upgradable in Eureka. So in theory, there should be...
I've heard both of that too.
There should be a lot to do. Whether or not the doing will be fun and engaging is another question.
You want to know what else? Your gear and your weapons. I like the idea, and again, this goes back to a lot of FF11 type stuff, but they should be drops from either specific NMs or fucking random for all I care. I don't give a shit. Rare X type stuff. So if you want to start the Thief Dagger, right? You got to go out and you got to kill a specific something till hopefully
Glavoids.
The Thief Dagger drops, and then you can start the upgrade process. And the upgrade process should be complex, right? I should get to choose the type of stats that I want on it, and based on what stats I want or how many,
you have to fight Tungas.
Determines again what I have to fight, what I have to collect, or what it is that I have to do.
Sobek horns.
Honestly, it was better than anything we have in the game right now.
I miss Abyssio.
I know you do.
I loved it.
And the fact that you could possibly do it either solo and it takes you months, or do it in big groups and it only takes you a few weeks, I'd be happy with that.
Just kind of the perfect system.
Juxta, you are obviously the most
handsome.
Not what I was going to say.
Intelligent.
Not at all what I was going to say.
Charming.
Nope. Can you let me talk?
I could.
Out of all of us, when it comes to Eureka, you are the one who holds the least amount of hope and optimism. Do you hold anything within you, or do you just automatically know in your heart of hearts that this is going to be terrible?
It's
because you requested work off.
Yeah, I did take.
You actually took the entire day off to play Eureka.
Yeah,
which means you're gonna have to resubscribe too.
I've already resubscribed.
Oh, okay.
You can see me. That's
right.
I'm holding my red mage staff wand. I'm dancing.
Dildos. All those things you guys are waving around, they're fucking glow-in-the-dark dildos. That's what they are.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, so the question. First of all, let's start this way. What do you hope that it could be?
What do I hope it could be?
Yeah. Best case scenario in your eyes to make you happy. What does Eureka look and play like?
Oh, gosh. It has to play differently than everything else in the game. Like, when I go into Eureka, I have to play by a whole new set of rules. And it has to feel different from Final Fantasy XIV. Because if I'm just going into Final Fantasy XIV in just a different instance, then it's not solving any problem.
Okay, so that means no fates. No bosses in circle rooms.
You can use fates, you can use bosses in circle rooms, but you have to go about it in a completely different way that makes me change and think about the game differently. Like right now, I'm just assuming that I'm going to go into Eureka and I'm just going to start casting on a mob, leveling my white and black magic evenly, and then I'm going to do my melee damage, and then I'm going to jump back, and it's just going to be exactly the same as everything else in the world.
I mean, you can't change combat. Combat is something that's going to be, consistent throughout the world.
But maybe I have to do something differently to get to that mob, or maybe that mob doesn't exist until I do something. Like, it has to.
Okay, see, that might be something, because I feel like so far the stuff that you're describing to me is kind of all superficial. And when we look at FF14 right now, I think for me the biggest problem is that every single player, no matter who you are, whether you're a Dark Knight, a Red Mage, a healer, a DPS, you all do the same thing, and that is you run dungeons to increase your tomes to buy gear from the same NPC. Everyone does the exact same thing. And I think maybe what you're kind of alluding to is when you go into Eureka, it shouldn't just be, all right, follow the crowd and do everything that everybody else does. Everybody, when they get in there, should have a different objective or have a different idea of, no, I want to do this. So if you're in a group, maybe you have to prioritize things, plan stuff out.
Have to think about the game differently.
Okay.
Or just having to think about the game.
That's your dreams and aspirations. I hope they make me think.
I mean, I don't think when I'm playing 14 now. Like, at this point, your rotation is...
What's your DPS?
Huh?
What's your DPS?
It doesn't matter.
Damn.
That's literally my DPS is. It doesn't matter.
Damn. Okay. My next question. What do you expect this is going to be?
At this point, I think we're going to get fates on the ground with ground mounts, and you're going to have this wheel, and you're going to have to travel as a group because the mobs are going to be really strong. So basically, it's going to be like Diadem, but also Dynamis.
But they did say that you would, if you wanted to, be able to do this stuff solo. You could go into Eureka by yourself.
I mean, you can go in there by yourself, but can you get very far? Because as you go out, the mobs get stronger and stronger, and after a certain point, you're going to need a full party to get to fight these random mobs that are walking around.
But wouldn't that go against Square Enix's current design philosophy, which is allowing everyone equal access to everything, basically?
Well, I mean, you have equal access. Go get a party.
They could have said the same thing for, like, raids and not introduced easy mode, but they didn't. They dumbed it down enough for 6 random-ass people to go in and just do it by themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be easy. You're going to need a party to, like, fight the mob, but it's not going to be like you need top-end raiders to take down mobs.
Yeah, okay, fine. Reward system, what does that look like?
Oh, gosh. It's obviously has to be pretty equal to what Mencina tomes are. I would appreciate it if you could, like, actually level it up, and it has to look good. Square Enix, for a change in this expansion, make it look good.
Not weeby.
Not weeby. It can even be look weeby. You know what? At this point, I am so far disillusioned with this glamour that we had. You can make it look weeby if it looks good. All right, good weeby.
I remember my last relic,
Sigma Scape, or that other scape that we had, Delta Scape.
Do you remember the last relic daggers? How they were just like giant, like just
swords,
rocks. Not even swords. They were a handle, and then they just had like a long rock on the end of it, and they had runes carved into it.
I don't even remember those.
You might not have got that far. That's one of the reasons I stopped doing the relic, was because I was like, it actually looks cool right now, and that's ugly as sin.
Wow, that's really depressing.
Yeah.
But anyway, upgradable gear, I guess. Like, if they can make the system where the gear gets better as you go through the patches and the item level limit goes up, I would appreciate that, Square Enix. So make that a thing. But at this point, I don't know if I expect that.
I don't think you should.
I don't.
You guys
really don't.
They're just gonna make us collect tomes, but in Eureka.
Dude,
come on. Dude, that's just depressing.
No, they can't be that dumb and naive to think that we're gonna do all this shit for fucking tomes.
Or I mean, it doesn't have to be tomes, but just some kind of exclusive currency.
Eureka currency.
Yeah.
Eureka coins.
Yeah, every time you kill something, you get a Eureka coin, and you need so many to upgrade to the next one.
Yeah, I can see that. There's like a 70-30 chance that that's actually what's going to be.
And Eureka coins don't have their own tab. It's an actual item you have to carry until patch 4.4 or through whatever the fuck we're on. 2 patches later, when no one's doing it, then they will change it to have its own tab. But you have to go back to Eureka to trade them in somewhere.
Jesus.
Have you learned nothing, Square Enix?
Of course not. Why would they?
Oh, God.
Anyway, let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Doris Ginavanian from Kajata. What's going on, Doris?
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio.
Kajata's actually a place?
Kajata.
Yeah, no, I know what it is. It's the summon material you get when going to the Ancient's Forest in Final Fantasy VII. That's the last time that I remember that at all. Right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Just haven't heard it in a long time.
Yeah.
What's your server pop? Like 5?
Oh, not very big.
3.
Either that or else people aren't logging in.
Yeah, that never helps. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was his name?
Doris.
Doris. Go ahead, Doris.
Like the sloth.
Okay. So we're actually almost like halfway through the expansion cycle. I've realized. Yeah. And as of right now, like I know Eureka's coming out tomorrow or in a couple of days.
Right.
But we've got 0 new features. We got
the elemental wheel.
No. I think he means after Eureka. We're now halfway through what is our usual cycle.
Yeah.
What do we have to look forward to after Eureka?
Well, they're going to announce a Blitzball. Lords of Reminion Blitzball.
No, but I think that's a good observation. We really don't have anything.
And if we want to look at their track record in previous expansions, even if Eureka is quote-unquote easily updatable, exactly what is that going to be? You guys had pointed it out because I try to tout this all the time. You're like, no. Palace of the Dead did get an update. It got another 50 floors.
100.
All right, another 100 floors, whatever. But I don't think that was so much them coming out with something and then creating another thing and updating it. I think that they kind of just
holding content back.
That they kind of held it back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so he's right. I don't think we're going to see an actual substantial continuation or update to Eureka until 5.0.
Till 5, really?
Whatever happened to this never before seen content that we were meant to get as well? No one seems to talk about that.
Wasn't that Eureka?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What exactly are you referencing?
Sources?
He said in like one of the live letters, like before Stormblood was coming out, that we were meant to get never before seen content. I'm guessing perhaps that's Eureka.
Yes, I think that's
what I'm going to guess.
Ended up being Eureka.
Yeah.
All right.
Because that was the thing, is I don't remember them promising or over promising on content.
No,
you know what I mean? Like I remember coming into Stormblood going, "Oh shit, what the fuck are we gonna be doing? It's literally the same shit.
It's the same game.
The only difference that I was expecting at all was Eureka,
and hopefully more Palace of the Dead.
Yeah, well,
did they even promise that?
They did.
Did they?
Did they?
I can't point to a specific source, but I do remember Yoshi saying that they are working on the next installment of Palace of the Dead, and that it would not be Eureka.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because one of your big theories, Aniero, was that they were going to take Diadem, Palace of the Dead, mash together the good parts of it, and call it Eureka.
Well, I mean, they are kind of doing that through the rewards, and one of the things that I remembered about the armor too, isn't this supposed to be JSE armor? So,
that's right.
Yeah. So this is going to be our Stormblood job armor, I believe. Because I think we got the non-dyeable version in the story quest, the MSQ.
Yep, because I remember thinking this actually looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, and now this is going to be dyeable, and it's going to have stats that are usable. I think that's what we're going to be working towards. So
okay, now
I could be wrong about that.
And unless there's some type of process that goes into making that, then it sounds literally just like, all right, yeah, the weapon will probably be more along the lines of what Palace of the Dead did. You have to level it up in some way. And then there will be, as you're doing that, you accrue some type of points that you then turn into a vendor for dyeable JSE.
That's just it's gonna be the dyeable stuff that we got leveling.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Give us new glamour, Square Enix.
Or stuff or it's gonna glow.
Yeah, it might have a glow on the shoulder.
We are overdue for a new glow on our armor.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We didn't get one in Storm or on Heaven's Ward.
Sorry, everything was ugly in Heaven's Ward anyway. You got glow sticks.
He's kind of right. I mean, Heaven's Ward was like the armor characterized by Heaven's Ward was bulky and ugly.
In fact, I don't even, because I actually bought the crafted stuff when I hit level cap, and first of all, I don't remember what it looked like at all, so it must not have been very cool. And there was only one. I feel like it used to be that I would have our benefactor would make me the crafted stuff every other patch when they came out with a new one for glamour. I think they just came out with the one, didn't they?
No, they keep on coming out with new crafted stuff.
Oh, like cool stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's good for raiding, I guess, for the very first day before you actually get gear.
Because of the materia.
And you want to spend millions and millions of gil, which is also worthless, on gil.
Yeah.
Do you guys fill your materia slots?
I do, but I don't pay attention to it, which is, I think, the thing that the guy who was parsing me got all upset about initially.
Super upset.
He would hate me because I don't bother.
No, you know what it was? It was the fact that I did bother and that I did it poorly. He was like, I could
use level 3s.
I'd forgive it if I didn't. I wasn't that bad. Jesus Christ. But he was like, oh, I'd forgive it if it was if there was no materia melds in there at all, but all of his spaces were taken up with melds and they were just shitty melds. Like, go fuck yourself.
That's funny.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
He'd forgive no effort at all versus a tiny bit of effort.
Yeah, apparently.
Hey guys, look, Aniero doesn't DPS well. See, look, nobody cares.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for the call, Doris. We appreciate hearing from you.
Yep, no problem.
Have a good one. If you want to give us a call on Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Love to hear from you. Got a lot to talk about? Not really.
I'm like, well, we do?
Not really.
So, Juxta, I actually have Tuesday off as well.
Really?
Yeah. So I
heard that Nika wanted to also stream with me. Eureka.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to be able to because of her baby that she's having via surgery.
Aniero, what do you got going on Tuesday?
Motherfucker, I work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I always work.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What if you're dead because of your sickness?
Then I'll be too busy being dead.
So you won't stream with us if you're dead?
Probably not, no.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Can we just stream your dead corpse?
A little selfish of you, I think.
Like Weekend at Bernie's style?
No, just you're dead in the chair and we're recording that while we play Final Fantasy. You could be a euphemism for the game.
Could you do it Weekend at Bernie's style where you're like tying up my hands and I'm like hitting the keyboard and stuff?
I mean, you might do more damage that way.
Aniero, do you actually believe that Juxta has seen Weekend at Bernie's?
Excuse me. I love that movie. Thank you very much.
Wow, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I have seen that movie. And I've also seen the second one. Obviously not as good as the first one.
Why would you see the second one?
Because it was the second Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, I know.
How could it be bad? Weekend at Bernie's was so good. And it was bad.
All right, I guess I believe that he saw it. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so me, you, and Nika, we're streaming. You think we can rope us?
Probably not. Probably not.
No.
I don't think he even has an active account.
Even
right now.
Even if we paid for him to come back, he's probably not high enough item level to enter.
We don't know if there is an item level.
We don't know because we didn't get fucking patch notes.
Hold on, I'm gonna check. Maybe they came out with them.
No.
There's only 20 minutes left in the show. They might be.
I checked like literally 5 minutes ago. We don't got them. I promise.
Okay.
That too.
That was a burp.
I'm checking anyway.
Didn't sound like a burp, but that's okay. Let's go back to our phone lines and try Meter Man again. Meter Man, are you here this time?
Yes, I didn't hear you guys last time. That's my stupid iPhone. Maybe I need to throw it out the window. First off, I wanted to pause to see if there's a donation. No,
we're safe. We're safe.
Okay. Number two, I understand what you're going through, Aniero. I'm pretty much in a Benadryl haze right now because the pollen here in Houston is out of control.
Go Outlaws.
Yeah, go Outlaws.
Go out of the arena because you're bad.
Shut up.
Hey,
you lost 2 games to freaking Mayhem.
They're getting good. It's not the right show. Meter Man, go on.
Anyway, go on, Meter Man.
So, you guys were talking about, inviting new players and all that fun at the beginning of the show before we got distracted with Eureka and all that bullshit. But anyways, so I actually got a request on Facebook from some old friends to come back to go back to the Old Republic. And I'm like, maybe I should invite them to come to 14 instead. Because, and I'm thinking, well, you know what? There ain't shit to do in 14. Maybe I should go play a free-to-play game pretty much and survive and basically do on Netflix on 14 when it's close to 5.0.
I mean, if it's I see. I don't have an ability to come up with an analog to this situation because if I quit FF14 in favor of another MMO, pretty much at this point it would be 11. Like, there's not, you know what I mean? Like, there's not another MMO that I would leave for that is more or less enticing. So, to your point about, do you go back to Star Wars: The Old Republic or FF14? I mean, I feel like that's like a Sophie's choice of shitty choices, right? Like,
second time you've used that joke. Who is this Sophie? Do you not a stinging Sophie? I understand now.
Oh my god. No, but I mean, that's the thing is though is that like I wouldn't want to go back to a game that I had already quit either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this comes with, and I don't know, maybe a lot of people do it, I know, but I'm not really sure why I can't do that. But to me, when you look at the way that I played FF11, the way that I played World of Warcraft, even Guild Wars for a little bit of time, and finally FF14, to me, an MMO, since I'm paying for it month in and month out, an MMO is supposed to be like a commitment, like it's something that you want to be able to contribute to and watch your progression and your growth over time.
Right.
And when people are like, oh yeah, I go back to this MMO like for a few months here and there, that's like you're just playing a normal game. If I'm going to play a normal game, I got a huge backlog of stuff that I could be doing. It's one of the reasons that I've even actually had trouble going back to WoW, even with the impending expansion that's coming, as I feel like in an MMO, I got to do as much as I can, and I don't have the time for that.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, you take one of those you know, level jump potions or something like that, one of these kind of fast forward buttons that MMOs give you, and you're losing something essential about the experience of playing an MMO,
or at least what captured us originally about MMOs.
Right. And the thing is you know, and a lot of people have said, well, maybe this is just, you know, you're too old for MMOs. Maybe. But the thing is though, is that I think a good MMO world will compel you to want to log in every minute that you're not logged in, right? Like, I think that FF14 has really struggled on that point ever since I've even first picked it up. So, you know, it's hard for me to say that even FF14 has it's hard to even rank FF14 as an MMO, because I feel like so much of my experience was not multiplayer. It was just it was in a multiplayer environment, but it was match made, so it didn't matter.
They're not real people.
You know, yeah.
They might as well have been NPCs.
Yeah, they might as well have been bots, right? Yeah. And I think that aspect of MMOs is something that I am very much burnt out on, and that I'm kind of irritated by. But I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if that is a problem with the developer, if it's a problem with, you know, the way that the game is attempting to monetize itself. I don't really know what's at the core of that, but I know that I haven't experienced the same quality of game that I did, you know, even 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm even talking about MMOs that I didn't like. You know, I played plenty of MMOs where I was like, yeah, this world's not for me, but I can see the appeal.
Guild Wars was like that for me. I actually loved the world and the way that they did some of their exploration and jump puzzles. I actually loved the jump puzzles in that game, because it didn't look like it was just a jump puzzle, if that makes sense. Like, it actually looked like it fit into the world, and this is just an area that came to be naturally through, you know, whatever it was. It wasn't just like, oh, look at these platforms. Oh, they're arranged in such a way that maybe I can get to the top of it. You know, so I could appreciate that about Guild Wars. And to your point, the way that you're kind of describing FF14, we've said before that, you know, even if you don't like the MMO experience, FF14 is worth playing even just through the MSQ, right? Costs as much as a real game does. You get as much as a single player game does. You spend about as much time as you would in a single player game, and you get, you know, a pretty decent Final Fantasy story. But you're right, they've even started to transform through matchmaking and stuff. Even you know, the easy raids or the dungeons, you don't have to talk, you don't have to put in any effort to. So at that point, why aren't I just grinding out shit in Monster Hunter that I actually feel like gives me something worthwhile? And even if I were to move on to another MMO, I feel like you can't make an MMO nowadays without the automated matchmaking process, because then people are going to feel like, oh, I actually have to like find people to go about doing this.
Right. Well, I think something that is you know, that specifically FF14 has kind of lost along the way is this idea that you are incrementally or gradually increasing the power of your character, right? Like, if it's a foregone conclusion, or if it's been mathed out, right, that as long as you cap your tomes for, you know, 12 weeks, that you'll have all of your gear slots by the time that the next patch hits, right? Like,
something about being able to quantify exactly how much effort and time it takes to get to where you want to be doesn't seem right.
Well, but it does seem very carefully mathed out on the part of Square Enix to say, like, okay, here's your incentive to log in and to cap tomes every single week, right?
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then like there's a monotony to that. There's like this
there's no mystery to it, because I used to do that. I always did that. I used to make so many different lists for FF11, all the stuff I wanted to do, all the stuff I wanted to get, but you couldn't look at it and say, all right, by the end of the week I'll be here, and then by the end of next week I'll be here. It all depended on how lucky you were.
On the RNG.
Yeah. And now you're right. You can basically put it all out. And by doing that and knowing, all right, well, within 12 weeks, I could have all this stuff.
By doing 30 runs every day, then I'll be able to get every single gear slot filled up.
And be a week.
Right.
And be a week away from the next patch, which will make it easier. And if I just wait till then I could do it all in a week.
And by the way, every queue that I'm going to get is a guaranteed victory. You know, I may not get the piece of gear that I want out of queuing for that content.
It might take 3 minutes longer because I have Aniero as a tank.
Yeah, right. But you're guaranteed the tomes at the end of it. Right? Like, there is a monotony to that. And the way that MMOs used to be designed was not with that kind of ubiquity in mind.
Yeah.
It was more to flesh out an interesting world that gave players playing in it things to do, not to make sure that everything was equitable from one end of the game to the other. Like,
games are too fair nowadays.
This is... I'm going to make a weird point here. But this is what people who say socialism is boring, this is what they mean. Because socialism is a little bit more fair than capitalism, right? Because your portion is given to you and you know exactly what you're going to get.
You're looking awfully red there, Aniero.
What do you mean? Oh...
You a fucking commie?
No, I'm not. I'm saying pro-capitalist things right now.
Okay.
But if everything is fair, nothing is interesting, right? That's what we're sort of seeing with the way that loot is distributed in FF14. And I think that you can draw that same parallel to, you know, the capitalism socialism debate.
Okay, the way that Square Enix is doing it, sure, but there's a difference between making sure everything is fair while also providing a challenge, right? Like, this is they're giving you everything. Yes, that's fair, but if they upped the challenge, how is that not still fair? Everyone still has access to it, and if they are skilled enough, they can get it.
Because that's arbitrarily inflating the challenge just to put a barrier there. You know, I don't know that that's what players are asking for, or if that starts to address why the game is actually boring. Right? Because it's still a foregone conclusion. Okay, I'm going to queue for this thing, and at the end of it, I'm going to get my tomes. So what you're talking about adjusting the variable that every time you queue for something, you're not necessarily guaranteed to pass it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what? Ozma for the first 3 weeks that it was in the game? You know what I mean? Like, the problem with the challenge barrier is that more of your community is going to rise to meet that challenge than isn't. So you're going to have this collection. We've called them the we wants in the past, but you're going to have this collection of very, very bad players of this game, or very lazy players of this game, who are just bitching to bitch because they don't want to apply themselves to be able to get through the content. This is the same argument that we had around Steps of Faith. Exact same argument.
In Soviet Russia, we play 14. Those stupid Americans play Eve.
Okay.
I didn't get the joke, sorry.
Thanks.
Thank you for the money, though. We appreciate that.
I guess he's talking about the capitalist of Eve.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because in Eve, the developers don't care about you, and you can lose, $14,000 in a fight.
And that, but that's kind of the way that a online world should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want Square Enix to be, my nanny and make sure that I'm making all of the right decisions, or
it didn't require
that I can't fuck myself in the ass if I, I'm not careful.
I should be able to talk a friend into selling a piece of gear, and then the next day when the economy drops, he buys it back at a fraction of the price.
You mean at twice the price?
At twice the price. Sorry, the reverse. Yeah.
Yeah. I listen. I just there's a few things that in the argument of being more fair that Square Enix has stripped out of the concept of an MMO that I think makes it less fun. And I think that, you've got to have something that you're working towards, and a goal. And I just, the rating, the way that Square Enix has attempted rating in FF14 has been so poor at motivating players to participate. I mean, when you've only got, 2%, 1% of your player base that's actually actively giving a shit about rating, that's isn't that a problem?
Yeah.
Like, that says to me, and I'm not even saying of the number of people, the people who used to raid that raid now, it's just of the active players in this community, it's less than 5% are ever interested in raiding at any one time. And I think that is a staggering number for a developer to be comfortable with. Well, that's what I've never understood about Square Enix.
And I think the only reason that it bothers me so much, because Square Enix isn't the only MMO that deals with balancing content between casual and hardcore players. It's one of the main things that both, I think, Destiny and now Destiny 2 deals with as well. But the reason that it bothers me so much with Final Fantasy XIV is because you see other MMOs that do it well, that can actually do it, and I refuse to believe that it's something like, oh well, like in the case of World of Warcraft, oh well, they have more money. Well, you don't have to do it on the same scale as they do, but it's at the point now where you can do what WoW is doing and not just be called a WoW clone. They've set a precedent for the industry and the genre. So unless you plan on innovating or doing something completely crazy and out of the question, you should at least be doing what they're doing. Am I wrong? Is that too outrageous of an ask?
No, I don't think so. Meterman, thanks for the call. We appreciate hearing from you. If you want to give us a call, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We've got a few more callers hanging on the line, so we're going to push the show a little bit longer today. Also, because we didn't have a final encounter cast this morning, because that show is done. It's gone.
Dunzo.
It's dunzo.
Bizo.
We are prepping for the launch of the Let's Be Real podcast. There's a couple of things that we've got to get situated for that. But until we do, we will be running clips and best of shows of Final Encounter Cast on Monday or on Sundays starting at 1 p.m. here on twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. Let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Zero of Mateus. What's going on, Zero?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio. What's happening?
Nothing much. Just to show you my statement for Eureka, because it's kind of the content I'll be looking for. I just had a chat with my free company. Apparently, we're at a total split. One is gonna jump right in and just do everything as quickly as possible for their race static, and I'm just gonna sit here and just enjoy my time because this is kind of be the first. I never played FF11, so this kind of be like my closest experience with it because the whole level down system, kick you die, and all that. Plus, if I get the rogue for my samurai, so that's
right on, man.
I'm hugely optimistic for it. Even if it sucks, I'm still gonna play it.
So wait, even if Eureka sucks, you're still gonna play Eureka?
Yep.
Okay. Why?
Because I've been playing this game for almost 4 years now. So at this point, I think I'm gonna play Final Fantasy 14 until it actually dies.
Oh, honey. We once thought that way.
Yeah.
And we get money for doing this.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Dude, I would say if it sucks or if you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah,
there's no reason to
reward Square Enix for making something that isn't good, or at least make sure that you're voicing your opinion somewhere about how you feel about it. Because if everyone plays it even though they don't like it, then their numbers are going to say, hey, people are playing it, so I guess they still like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I think really kind of one of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to just kind of arm Square Enix with a blank check and say, listen, you guys did so good on this piece of content. Whatever you guys are coming out with next is going to be amazing. Hang on, though. What if that's what happens with Eureka? What if we're wrong? What if we're so wrong about Eureka that it ends up being really, really good and then brings people back to the game long term? I mean, are you guys prepared to eat crow on that?
I think we've always said that if they do something right in the game or if they turn the game around, that we'll be the first ones to admit, yeah, all right, this is what you should be doing. Absolutely. I'd love to love this game again.
No, I'm going to hate it no matter what. Yeah, of course I'm going to eat crow and be like, yeah, Square Enix did something right for a change. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Zero, thanks for the call. We appreciate hearing from you, man. All right. Give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord to give us a call. I'm not sure if we had anyone else after Zero, but if we don't, then we're probably going to wrap it up here. How are we sounding in the headphones to everyone?
I think we're sounding pretty great.
I think it sounds pretty good. It took a while for me to dial in the audio, and for a while I was hearing Kallo was really fucking loud for a while, for like a good half of that show.
Good.
He's always loud. Good. And not in the good way.
You don't need to project that much. You know that you're in a room with sensitive microphones and that.
We got the protection down there. The noise condom.
Well, but I mean, it also makes quieter sounds louder, so you don't have to talk as loud, Kallo.
I'm sorry, but years and years of training, I'm supposed to project. Plus, we did the sound check earlier. Aren't I talking as loud as I was during the sound check?
No, you're all over the place.
Oh, weird.
Weirdly, Juxta, Norris, Joe, they like,
we're smart ones.
When they sound check, they use the exact same voice and inflection that they use on the show. No.
Huh, that's weird.
Your inflection is like opposite of inflection. It's like deflection.
Yeah, no, you because I'll
what?
That's close to being right, but like you give your voice less volume and less projection in sound check. And
I'm not surprised if like during the news
right there
or something.
Like, I'm not that part right there. That's
when
way
you get really high and whiny,
way more loud than necessary. You want to back that down a little bit?
Sorry.
I'm just trying to get you to.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if I did it during news segments, because I think I put on like a news announcer voice.
And you'd be talking over music. Yeah, no, but it's like it's when you do it like it's
when I'm about me.
It's like you're trying to talk over other people in the room, but no one else in the room is talking.
Do I follow it through the entire time, or only when I start? Because it might just be like I do that like as I'm making a point.
Both. I mean, because I've been having to adjust your channel all fucking day today.
All right, well, I'll try to, I guess, keep that in mind. But when I get excited, I get excited. I'm sorry.
You're in here
easily
a little bit more often than anyone else, so I think you've got to
just try and keep you on your toes.
Wait, what do you mean by that, Daddy?
He's got an entirely other show that he comes here and does.
Okay.
Well, you sit at home with your dumb baby.
Yeah. Stupid baby.
Stupid baby.
As long as you don't, do other things, it's fine.
What? Jesus God.
End the show before he makes more sex jokes.
They're never good sex jokes either.
No, that's why they're so bad. Like if they were good sex jokes, fine, go ahead and make the the good puns or the clever connections. But you're just like penis me.
Penis monger. That was one.
You are the penis monger.
I remember when he was when penis mongering was a thing. That was a phase that you were going through.
Penis mongering?
Yeah.
You just said penis all the time.
Just penis?
No, but I mean, like, you specifically brought up penis mongering, and I don't know what that means, but that was
Where
like
you mong penises.
It's like he has
like
these
you have mongers, and then there's penises.
He's got these Charlie Day like moments where he'll say something, and we won't question it in the moment, but it'll come back up later, like penis mongering, where you're like you're laying in bed that night, and you're like, fucking penis mongering.
Well,
what the fuck is penis mongering?
You know, it would be real simple if he would just say, like, oh, yeah, I don't know, I was just talking out my ass. But I feel like in his head, he has to justify everything that he does. And actually, I've seen this play out. We have a D&D campaign that we're doing late Monday nights now, right? And
Are you streaming it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we streamed it. And he missed out on an entire 2 combat fights, including the main boss. Shut up.
What do you? Okay,
mute him, please, so he doesn't interrupt.
No, okay, he's wrong.
No,
okay,
you're
right.
And the reason why was we came across this bridge that he couldn't reach, so he had to throw a rope over it and try and climb up it, and he couldn't because he just threw the rope over top of it, and he spent the entire time trying to climb it. Well, everybody else basically went on and did the actual fights because he couldn't just accept that he can't do that. He just had to do it. And guess what? He never did it.
I could have done it.
No, you couldn't have.
I could have.
Don't lie.
The gnome sorcerer did it.
Don't lie.
Well, I'm not lying about that. And it was only
he's not.
It was only 2 rounds of combat. It wasn't 2 whole combats.
It was.
Thank you very much.
We killed the boss before you got there.
No, I fucking murdered the other guy that was surrendering. All right?
Yeah, you showed up and killed the guy that the cleric wanted to question.
Yeah. Shoved an arrow through his eye.
Fucking idiot.
Dummy.
What do you mean, dummy? He was a goblin. He was clearly evil.
You're an idiot. You are an idiot.
Also, spoilers, the bridge led to the path that we were 5 feet away from later on down the hallway.
Which I told you.
I wonder if anyone actually noticed a difference in the way that the mics sound today.
I feel like if I can hear a difference, that other people should be able to.
No, I mean, I can definitely hear a difference in my headphones.
Did nobody answer you when you asked that?
No, I mean, I wasn't paying attention.
You
so.
dick.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Dicks, not Aniero, but you guys who didn't answer him.
And Aniero, though, he is a dick for not paying attention.
No, he's been good recently. I'm gonna say that again. He hasn't been very dicky.
I actually stuck it out for all 2 hours of the show.
Yeah. Honestly, I sent him a message last night about us, just coming later since we didn't have FEC. 'Cause figured he'd just want us here because he's lonely, and he was sick. So I'm like, oh man, he's probably giving me a bad mood, and I don't think we should just assume and not show up. So I'm like, hey, you don't mind if me and Chris show up later? And he's like, no, that's cool. Just remember we have sound check. And I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, sound check took what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, not very long.
Yeah.
It was 15 to 20.
Honestly, I think you've been more of a dick than Aniero has in the past few months.
Yeah, I mean, take that.
I'm trying to be a dick, so sometimes I can be the dick into Aniero, and Daddy can be the dick into me. It just goes back and forth. See, I'm penis mongering again.
Back to penis mongering.
Well, now that's in my head. I can't stop thinking about penis mongering.
What exactly are you thinking about when you...
Okay, so back in the day, you had Genghis Khan, right?
Yes.
And he was probably the king of the penis mongers, right? And so...
He was the king of the penis mongers.
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Because that's what he was. He was a monger.
Okay.
I mean, I assume he was a penis monger back in the day because, when you're Genghis Khan, you get all the bitches, right? So you penis monger.
Okay, go on.
Aniero actually paused, swiveled all the way around in his chair to look at me as if to say, are you fucking listening to this? Yes, Aniero, I am.
Oh, my God.
That's why...
Go on.
That's why the mongers took over the Chinese was to allow more of the mongers to penis monger into the Chinese women.
Tell me a little bit about the Chinese wall.
The good one.
The good one.
The good wall of China.
Is it that?
Well, it wasn't that good because the penis mongers got over.
No, I assume since they refer to it as the good wall, there must also be a bad wall, right?
Yes, where's the subpar wall of China?
It's on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Duh. You don't put the bad wall of China next to the penis mongers. That's how you get penetrated. Well, you know what? In retrospect, I guess it is the bad wall of China because the penis mongers did penetrate that wall.
Okay.
And that's why the Chinese don't have as many women anymore. It's because they all got penis mongered by Genghis.
I feel like we could do an entire.
This is what Let's Be Real is going to be, guys.
I feel like we could do an entire series of these, sort of like how they do drunk history, but juxta history.
Junks history.
Juxt history. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Notice how now that when you whisper, you can actually hear it.
Yeah, I can still hear it.
Yeah.
So my whisper jokes will land.
Yeah. They will.
Just like my secret.
If we can get Shouty McYellface over here to kind of chill out on the.
Hey, I've never blown a channel.
Now that we have the noise condom,
we don't know exactly who blew the channel.
Oh, we know.
Wait, do we not know?
No, we don't know.
I thought you just said it was me.
It could have been. Well, I assume that it was you.
I assume it was him too.
You're the one that goes from radically soft to radically loud
into the microphone.
Yeah. So,
but it could have been Kallo.
Could have been.
When do I ever use your mic?
No,
I used it that one time when you were really bad at drops when I wasn't here.
I don't think it was blown out quite that early.
Oh, I'm sure you've blown plenty of big black microphones.
I am not a Scalia.
I'm just kind of curious how long we can keep this kind of petering out like
well,
this.
If we want to put him back onto the subject of Juxta. Penis mongering. Can you talk to us about where the word mongering actually comes from, like what it means?
Well, it's a race of people. The mongers.
It's not.
Okay. All right. No, hold on. Okay. The mongers. It's a race of people. How does that relate to the...
They're from Mongolia.
To the two Marvel villains, the Iron Warmonger from Iron Man 1 and Killmonger from Black Panther. Because they're not... mongers.
Well, obviously those are, for starters, very racist depictions of the mongers themselves. And
one was a white dude, the other was a black dude.
Yeah, very racist. Mongers are neither of those things.
Oh.
Okay. What are they?
What?
What are they?
They're obviously...
Hey, on our way home, do you think we can stop for dinner at the Monger barbecue?
I mean, if you really want penis monger barbecue, that's how I know you eat dick. You suggested it.
All right. I think we got to wrap this up. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Gay!
Yes. Very. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate you tuning in every single week. We appreciate our callers as well. So
Super appreciate you.
Yeah, shout out to Zero Uno, Meterman, Doris, Dark Flux, and Nutella Waffles. Thank you, guys. You guys helped us get through this show in one piece. So hopefully it sounded good, though. Like that's been my main goal. I don't think that I've said one worthwhile thing in this entire episode.
Don't worry, I got your back.
But
everything I said was worthwhile today.
Hopefully it sounds nice. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio. Thanks so much for joining us for today. Join us every single Sunday starting at 4 p.m. here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio, limitbreakradio.com for the podcast. Once again, our condolences go out to Mr. Happy and his family, and we hope to see Nika return next week. So that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio. For my crew, Kallo Landis and Juxtaposition, I'm Aniero. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Kallo Landis, Juxtaposition, and Kooky Persona. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Nexian Theta, Hirsch Fersh, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content. Thanks, everyone, for listening to episode 150 of Limit Break Radio. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have